Welcome to In Other Words. I'm your host, Jason Nanda. I have one of our wonderful assistant producers with me, Shen. Hi, Shen.
How's it going, Jay? I'm really glad to be here, but not with you.
That's fine. That's fine, Shen. Let's talk about President Trump, all right? He's once again under fire in the media for allegedly pressuring the Ukrainian government to investigate Joe Biden's son. Trump reportedly brought up his desire for investigation 8 times while on the phone with the Ukrainian prime minister, which is the same tactic I use when asking my parents for money. In his response to the situation, Trump called American media a joke and a laughingstock. We here, at In Other Words, are delighted to know that at least someone finds us funny. Speaking of people who should not be president, this week, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio dropped out of the presidential election, the race rather. Now this question is, who are you going to grab? Who's going to grab Mayor de Blasio's supporters, or rather, supporter?
Whoa, Jay. I'm hearing a lot of aggression towards Mayor de Blasio here.
What's that, Shen? I can't hear you over your whole isolation. Yeah.
All right. Well, as the singular supporter of Mayor de Blasio, I'm used to isolation.
Speaking of, New York has passed a law banning flavored e-cigarettes. All the MAGA hat frat boys who voted for Trump are now screaming into their kegs because they can't handle their precious jewels being taken away. Nissan is on a mission to come up with a sound for electronic cars to announce their presence. I personally think the Peppa Pig Party album would be the perfect fit, but they haven't responded to my emails yet. Antonio Brown, the thing is moving too fast. Antonio Brown first left the Raiders, and after the sexual assault allegations has officially left both the Patriots and now the NFL. We have a better chance of getting on air than Antonio Brown does and getting back into the NFL. Can you guys believe that? Oh my God. Whew. A dive boat on the California coast erupted into flames, killing 34 people on board. One of the 5 survivors reported that the crew was not properly trained, which I think is pretty much a given because, like, a boat caught on fire in the water. Come on, guys, seriously. An SUV drove through a Chicago mall, causing false concern about an active shooter, but very real concern about someone driving through a car through a building. Okay. Celine Dion reportedly begged Drake for him not to get a tattoo on his face, dashing hopes of group matching tattoos where Jay-Z gets Betty White, Kanye gets Cher, and Eminem gets Barbra Streisand's 5th clone dog.
You know,
hey, Shen, do you have any tattoos, by the way? I wanted to ask.
I thought you never asked.
Yeah, I know.
I actually do have one of Mayor de Blasio's face on my upper right thigh.
Oh, wow. Do you have any others?
Yeah, actually, I have one of Justin Trudeau's face on my upper left thigh.
Oh, boy.
Oh, wait, but now that I think about it, it might just be a mole.
Okay, all right. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau was in hot water this week when photos of him emerged in blackface, leading the whole world to say, oh, come on, I thought he was one of the good ones. We liked him. If you thought Ivanka Trump had a mega crush on Trudeau before, you should have seen her when the scandal leaked. You should have seen her face. Oh, my God. When asked to comment on the incident, Trudeau said he does not know how many times he's worn blackface in his life. The number of times you've done blackface isn't like the number of calories you eat at a Thanksgiving or how many guys you've ghosted on Tinder in a month. Come on. It's a definitive number that should be no higher than, 0? Come on. Trudeau claims he didn't know brownface was racist at the time. It was 2001. He's claiming that the world was progressive enough to make an animated love story of an ogre, but not progressive enough to realize painting on another person's skin tone was racist. Come on. I don't know if anyone else has seen this photo, but if Trudeau could sing, then he could have been a great actor to cast in the live-action Aladdin as Genie. Trudeau could even be Will Smith's stunt double, too. I haven't seen a Justin get this bad press since Bieber got a DUI. Also being reported this week, Tropical Storm Karen has also begun to form on the coast of Puerto Rico, causing many on the coast to prepare for potential damage, and many part-time workers preparing to be asked to see the manager. This is the 3rd named storm in a week. How are they coming up with all these names? My roommate and I, we got a goldfish, 2 goldfish last year, and we both ended up naming them Bubbles because we couldn't think of anything else. Houston man stranded in floodwaters was seen eating a Whataburger and fishing. Many Texans wonder if they should change the state flag to the photo of this man, as it's a better reflection of their ideals. A resident of Texas commented on the catastrophic events of the tropical depression, saying, "I can't do this," resembling the words of every student walking out of Film A&A this past Monday night. The storm was quickly downgraded to a tropical depression. The storm is now reported to be wearing sweatpants and listening to Fleetwood Mac's Landslide on repeat.
Tropical depression. That's actually what I called my trip to Hawaii last year without Mayor Bill de Blasio.
Let's hope Donald Trump doesn't send his thoughts and prayers to this situation. We'll be right back. The prompter didn't move. Welcome back to In Other Words. I'm sitting in a chair now, but I'm feeling a little lonely out here with all these empty chairs. So let's bring out some correspondents. Up first, you know him from his attempts at impressions. Bailey.
Yeah. Here's John Mulaney.
That was an impression. Up next, she just dyed her hair. She just dyed the front of her hair and won't stop mentioning it. Liz.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
I'm going through my Avril Lavigne phase.
All right.
There we go.
And finally, you don't know her because she's a freshman, but you'll know her soon. Hannah.
I am terrified to be here.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got to close the door.
Sorry, you're
It's
gonna let the
common
air
cour-
out.
it's
Come
common
on.
courtesy. So, okay, the day finally happened, everyone. Okay. On September 20th, around 3,000 people stood outside the entrance of Area 51 to see them aliens, okay? Many are calling this event Alien Stock, which coincidentally was the Trump administration's tentative title for their border detention camp. While Alien Stock was a peaceful gathering, the event has caused the amount of collisions due to Naruto running to skyrocket in New Mexico. What do you guys think about this story?
Well, this all came from a Facebook event, right? I think it was called like the Raid Area 51. They can't stop us all. It went viral or something. And I think it's the same energy of like, oh, it's like they can't stop us all, but we can't all get zeros if we all didn't do the homework.
You definitely can stop them all, though. Like,
That's true. Well, unless they Naruto run where they're like, I'm going Super Saiyan. Boy,
That's perfect.
that's
know what I mean?
two different animes you're failing.
But we're
That
combining
morning, the U.S. Defense Division tweeted the last thing millennials will see if they attempt the
Hashtag
area.
millennials, by the way.
hashtag. You can't forget the hashtag.
Oh, I'm so
I want
sorry.
to make sure.
Am I not
Hashtag
a millennial?
Hashtag woke.
Just the hashtag is really
Hashtag
easy.
Area 51.
I believe it's do I have to?
raid.
It's Gen Z.
I believe we're Gen Z.
I think
but
we're
I
Gen
thought I
Z.
was.
Dude, I don't know what I am, man.
I thought I
don't know
was
what
a
I ate for
millennial.
breakfast.
I don't know.
Anyway,
yeah.
hashtag millennials.
Yeah.
We'll see if they attempt the hashtag Area 51 raid today alongside a photo of military personnel in front of a B-2 stealth bomber.
Look, if you think millennials are gonna give up that easy because of a meme, after being threatened by the U.S. government, you're definitely wrong. Joke's on you, U.S. government. The millennials already want to die.
Well, here's the thing though. We should give them credit because it's much harder to buy a fake ray gun these days than an actual gun.
Yeah.
I think that's messed up, right?
They showed up all decked out with their alien masks trying to speak Klingon. Sorry, extraterrestrials. I guess white people needed a new culture to appropriate.
Trump himself was said to have attended the raid because he has yet to be given Area 51 security clearance and is dying to get a selfie with E.T.
Isn't it a little bit suspicious that the climate strike happened to be the same day as the Area 51 raid?
Well, this is just another example of these dang millennials and their desire for sustained life on this planet.
You know, teens all strike against the current state of global warming, but refuse to acknowledge the damage they cause from their hot girl summer.
Well, when I first heard about the climate strikes, I thought that people were just protesting the Earth itself for the changing climates. Like, I just thought that the protesters were swarming the streets and yelling like, "Stop global warming! You stop that! Stop heating up!" Bad.
You say
got
millennials,
heated.
but the student strike for climate awareness was actually organized by 16-year-old Greta Thunberg. A 16-year-old organized a global strike for
Okay.
climate change.
That's ridiculous.
At 16, I could barely make mac and cheese, and that was 3 years ago.
I just learned to make grilled cheese like last week in my apartment.
I don't know how to do any of those
learned
things.
what cooking is.
Well, I think Greta Thunberg would be a great president, even though the qualifications to become the president of the U.S. are to be a natural-born U.S. citizen, to live in the U.S. for at least 14 years, and to be at least 35 years old. Greta misses the mark on all three of those.
Well, if you think about it, the qualifications to become president seem pretty loose these days, if you ask me, right?
Actually, I participated in Ithaca's climate strike. It was really cool to march down the hills to the Commons, but you know, when it came time to go back up back up to campus, everyone said, "Well, screw the climate, let's all Uber."
Hey, at least they carpooled.
Or if they wanted to, they could get the calves and the bomber booty. They could really work their way up there, you know what I mean? Or if they hit the gym. But I mean, either way, regardless, it was just a very hot weekend in general. Especially again, everyone was just wearing black during the protests. I mean, it's a lot that absorbs the most heat.
Justin Trudeau actually also wore black in protest.
Oh yeah.
Except that was 18 years ago.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Speaking of mundane white guys, the new Bachelor was just revealed to be Peter Weber. Anyone know? No,
I
another white
watch
guy.
the show.
Many fans criticized the show for
guy.
not giving the role to Mike Johnson, who would have been the first black bachelor. The producers have defended their choice by claiming Peter Weber just happened to be the right man for the part.
But
Thoughts?
Okay, but here's the thing though. You know what I don't understand? Why is everyone so beautiful and attractive on The Bachelor? I mean, isn't this like a last resort option for these people? Like, oh, I've tried everything, might as well just compete for my new husband or my new wife. Like, it's just like The Bachelor should be more like Wipeout, like just like 20. Think about it, 20 physically inept people in a competition that they're in no way equipped for, like no way that they're capable for. I would pay money to watch that show.
That sounds great.
Bailey, we all know you want to be on The Bachelor, but it's just not going to happen.
No, I know it's fine. Well, I want to be
You're
on
really
Wipeout, but
ousting him
Wipeout's
right now.
canceled.
All right,
Wipeout's
now I don't
canceled,
know
though.
much about the new
Final
Bachelor,
rose.
other than that he's a pilot and he hooked up with the last Bachelorette like 4 times in a windmill last season. But other than
And
that,
I oop.
he's pretty much a carbon
oop.
copy of the last 8 Bachelors we've seen.
I mean, I guess you could call that a whirlwind romance. But the only thing about this guy that's even a little bit interesting to talk about is that he's white. Literally all our writers could come up with was that he's white,
Yeah, that's
a
what the
male,
calendar keeps
and
saying.
can supposedly fly a plane.
I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable if my pilot was a former contestant on The Bachelor. I mean, if this guy can't land a date, how can he land a plane? Like, for real? Come on.
People are finding solace in the hope that pilot Peter's overnights could just be held in a plane, but just Peter. One of the bachelorettes and a complimentary in-flight meal.
Well, I hear that's what he calls his little buddy.
Oh boy. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, guys.
Thanks for
That's
having
good.
us.
Well,
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, thank you. We'll
This
be
is
right
great.
back.
In other words,
In other words,
we'll be right back. Get it?
I can't say that on.
now this week, New York became the first state to ban flavored electronic cigarettes. I don't believe we've talked about this enough, so let's roll it back. All right. New York became our uncool parent who just doesn't understand us when they decided to take away our right to infect our lungs with cotton candy, water vapor. Get ready for the parade of RAs leaving freshman dorms with confiscated Juul pods rather than tapestries and power strips. Now, I'm going to clarify, they are not banning juuling or vaping, no. They're banning the flavors that it can come in. So the actual act of giving yourself premature lung cancer is totally cool with the great state of New York. But that mango flavor is just too scandalous to handle. If you ask me. The reasoning is because the New York State government believes that the flavors are what attract children to the product. With that logic, it's not the alcohol that attracts the youth to underage drinking. It's the fact that White Claw that comes in black cherry. And let's be honest, these flavors aren't exactly life-changing, okay? The selection of flavors for Juul pods are the same as the selection of flavors for toothpaste at the dentist's office. I'm not saying that the rise in nicotine addiction amongst the kids isn't a problem. People are dying from the overuse, and addiction of any kind is a problem. There are more Juuls on campus than poorly positioned nose piercings. I've seen more Juuls plugged into USB ports than flash drives, and I'm a Park student, dude. If Edgar Wright made Scott Pilgrim versus the World in 2019, no doubt juuling would be scattered all over that thing. The word bam, pow would appear in a cloud of pink strawberry lemonade vape smoke. I've gotten across that this is a very popular product. It's not like parents have nothing to worry about. It is dangerous. The CDC just confirmed the eighth vaping-related death. According to Forbes, of the 500 cases of vaping-related illnesses, half are younger than 25, with 16% aged 18 or younger. That's crazy. There needs to be a conversation about this happening. If we think banning a flavor is the solution to nicotine addiction, then we clearly don't understand the problem. This is like solving the mental health crisis at college campuses by bringing in a llama. Doesn't make sense. It demonstrates a very surface level idea of the issue. And oh yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with anything at all. If we are going to be making progress, we need to have more scientific studies about the product, need to start regulating where and how this product is being advertised, and need to have serious conversations about addiction. In other words, all this is a lot harder than just passing a law banning flavors. So is literally everything else. That's our show for this week. Shen, thanks so much for being here.
Oh, I'm still here. I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah.
That's great.
I mean, you kind of invited me since you're the producer. I mean, you brought me on the show. But be sure to follow us on social medias to keep up and see our digital exclusives. Have a good week, guys.